So we're going to start this way. I need you to participate, okay? What are some of the qualities you look for or expect in a friendship? Okay, yeah. Loyalty. Why?
Because you don't want your friends to turn their backs on you, so when you do have friends, you
Good. Honesty. Why? So you can trust them.
not fake people, because then they'll like go behind your back.
Okay. No. I hear what you're saying, though. Yeah. People who are authentic, like you can trust in who they are. For sure. Yeah. Dylan.
To have like trust in them.
That you can trust them? Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
Potato-ness. You gotta make the potato.
Okay. Respect. Why?
Because you need to, like, in order to have, like, a functioning, like, relationship, you both need to equally respect each other.
Okay.
Humor.
Humor. Why?
So you have to have fun with your friends.
It's good to have funny friends, but looks aren't everything.
Wait, what?
It's okay. You'll get it tonight. On your way home, you'll be like, oh, funny. Okay. Okay. Now, tonight, I want you to consider how the lines have been blurred when it comes to the friends that you accept. The kinds of people that are in your life that you have counted as friends, that you would say, these are my friends, and yet they don't meet some of the things that you said are things you expect and that you look for in a friend. That you would look at this list of stuff, and the people that you allow to speak into your life, you've set the bar really low. And you've sort of just come to this place where you're going, you know what? Guys, I need you not to sit here and do this the whole time. Thanks. I don't really care what quality of friends I have. I'm just glad somebody likes me. I'm just glad somebody accepts me. Anybody willing to say sometimes you'll just take what you can get, right? I think we all do at some point. And we get into this mindset of going, you know what? It comes to the things that I want in a friend, that I would expect in a friend, but since they can't deliver that, rather than searching for or demanding what you want in a friendship, in a relationship, you just lower your bar. And you stop expecting, you stop desiring anything more, and you just take whatever people are willing to give you, and you're just thrilled. It's like, hey, I'm just glad somebody will let me hang out with them at lunch, right? And we stop considering what it is that they're speaking into our lives and who they are. Now, as we talk about this, because your choice in relationships are some of the most important choices that you'll make. It's also some of the most blurry lines that society gives us on what we should expect, what we should demand in a relationship. As we talk about this, about what kind of friends you should be accepting, what kind of people you should have speaking into your life, I want to challenge you with this. What kind of friend are you? And this is where it may get a little ouchy. This is where it may be like, oh yeah, I failed there. Or I need to grow in that area. And if that happens, if that convicts you in your heart, awesome. It's not supposed to riddle you with guilt. It's not supposed to shame you. It's not supposed to make you leave here and just be like, I should not even hang out with anyone. I should spend the rest of my life as a monk in Tibet, up in the mountains, eating grass with goats. It's not that, okay? But if something stirs in your heart and you recognize, you know what? I've lowered the bar in what I will accept as a friend, or, you know what? Other people have lowered the bar to accept me as a friend. I want to encourage you to consider and invite God to speak to you. What needs to change? What are the things that need to change in your life? Now, one of the ways that culture blurs this line of relationships is it tells us, be friends with whoever accepts you. Don't worry about their behavior. Don't worry about the way they treat people. Don't worry about their goals or view of life. Don't worry about the kinds of things that they're open to and that they're taking into their life that is shaping who they are, shaping their attitude. Don't worry about how they treat their teachers. Don't worry about how they treat friends. Don't worry about how they treat their parents. Don't worry about what kind of activities they're into or habits they have or whatever it is. Just, hey, if they'll accept you, just be glad you're accepted somewhere. This is one of the things that, like I said, we lower the bar to where we just go, you know what, I don't have any expectation, and so I'll just hang out with people that maybe in the beginning, it does fulfill us, and we just go, I'm just glad that I don't have to sit alone anymore at school. But over time, as negative things and sinful things are being poured into your life, through these people that you've lowered the bar so that you can justify hanging out with them, as it is poured into your life, what gets poured in eventually goes where? Comes out. What goes in will eventually come out. You just need to know that. And so maybe you're here tonight and you're like, yeah, the people I hang out with, yeah, they're doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, or their attitudes stink, or they're not nice to people, or whatever it is. But you know what? It's fine. I'm not like that. I don't have to be like them. You will be. Hear that. Think about the people that are pouring into your life. Think about the people that are influencing you. And if they are in a place where you're like, well, yeah, I don't want to be like them. I don't have to be like them. You spend enough time with them, you will be. There's a saying, and I don't know who came up with it, but somebody says, you want to see your future? Show me the people that you're hanging out with. And you will get to see what you will eventually become. Now that happens in a positive way too. If people are pouring life into you and encouragement into you and positive things, that's going to affect you as well. But we so easily, we slide into this thinking of we ignore who we're hanging out with and who is liking our Snapchat or liking our picture on Instagram, and we just are thankful that they are. It's like, oh good. Well, at least I got 100 likes. But those people are then, in what way are they pouring into your life? What kind of influence are they having on you? The way they talk, the way they treat people, the things they call okay, the things they're encouraging you to do. What does that look like? And have you lowered the bar from the things you guys, when I said, what do you look for in a friend? You had no problem. You're like, loyalty, honesty, authenticity. It's just, you had no problem. Oh, well, these people aren't like that, but it's fine. We're just hanging out. And we lower that bar. And you've stopped considering, who should you be following? And maybe this involves social media, or maybe it's like actually in person. Who should you be following? What should you be observing on a consistent basis? And maybe it is just post after post of negative stuff, or people bashing people and putting people down, or saying, oh, you're so stupid, or putting whatever it may be. What are you pouring in? What does that look like in your life, and have you lowered the bar? So let's look at some of the lines that God has set of what relationship should be like. Okay, and ways that it's been blurred. So here we go. We should seek friends and be friends that will be there for you when you fail. Would you agree with that? They'll be there for you when you fail. And all night long, you can be thinking through, is this true? With who I'm hanging out with and what I'm doing? Are you surrounding yourself with people who will be there for you when you fail? Or are you surrounded by people who are there for you as long as you keep your rep up, as long as you dress the right way, as long as you'll treat people just like they're treating people, as long as you're cool enough, as long as you're talented enough, as long as you made the A travel ball team, as long as you made a certain number of goals, whatever. How are the people around you treating you when you fail? Proverbs 17:17 says this, a friend is always loyal, and a brother is born to help in a time of need. Are people sticking with you when you're in need? And remember, you can always flip these. Are you sticking with people when they're in need? How do you treat people when they fail? Do you rub their face in it? Do you make fun of them? Are you quick to say, you look like an idiot on one of their posts? Who are you? Who are the people that are pouring into your life? Will they be there for you when you fail? We need to seek friends and be friends that say what needs to be said. How many of you have ever had a friend like tell you, hey, you got a booger in your nose? Anybody? Or, hey, you got a big old stain on that shirt. Or, hey, your pants are ripped, right? Do you have these people in your life? I had a friend. Guy wasn't even really a very close friend. We were just kind of acquaintances. And we were lining up. I remember I was in 7th grade, and we're lining up. And we're all standing in line, hanging out, and he grabs me, and he drags me over. We go in the classroom, and he grabs me. He drags me over to a mirror that's in the classroom. He goes, dude, check your nose. And I had the biggest booger. Like, just chilling. You know, talk about a snot rocket. It was glorious. Now, it would have been one of those things where everybody was going to notice or had noticed or whatever. And he was the one who came and was like, hey, check this out. I'm helping you out here, dude. Now, I was humiliated. I was so embarrassed. I was just like, oh my gosh, how long has it been there? You know, I don't remember putting it there this morning. And what's going on? You know, and there was a part of me that was angry at him for pointing it out. In my thinking, I was like, dude, why do you have to say anything? Just chill, just don't say anything. But then I realized, whoa, way better that he said something. Because I sat next to the girl that I liked in that class. And this this could have been detrimental. You know, Jeff and his snot rocket, next to. Are you putting people around you, accepting relationships around you with people who will say what needs to be said, who will challenge your thinking and things, who will challenge your behaviors? When you start to step out of bounds, when you start to act in ways that are irresponsible, that are rude, that are going to get you hurt, that are going to get you grounded, do you have people in your life who will go, you know what? I know sometimes parents are punks, but don't talk to your mom like that. She deserves it. Maybe, but not cool. Now, you may be embarrassed if they do that. You may want to be like, mind your own business, will you? Are you willing to hear from people who say what needs to be said? If you don't have people in your life, if you are not choosing friends, if you are not choosing influencers who will tell you that you've got a big old booger in your nose, you have lowered the bar on who you're accepting as friends. Does that make sense? Think of the people that you're surrounded with. Are they always just telling you, yeah, go for it? Oh, yeah, you should. And never calling you back into bounds. If you don't have those people in your life, you have lowered the bar. And you guys, this goes for me as well. This goes for me as well. This happened when I was first married. I had been married months. And there was a point where we went out with some friends. Laura and I went out with some friends. And during dinner, I said something really rude to Laura. I don't remember what it was, but I remember the reaction that it got. And I said something rude or sarcastic or something to her, and it was embarrassing to her. It was really sarcastic for me, that kind of a thing. And after dinner, we're walking around the mall or something, and my buddy that we were walking around with goes, hey, you know what? I feel like you got to make things right with Laura. That was pretty harsh what you said at dinner. I was embarrassed. I was angry. I wanted to tell him to mind his own business. And yet, he was exactly right. It was I was way out of bounds. And it was absolutely something I needed to make right with her. Do you have people in your life that will call you back into bounds? That will say what needs to be said? Maybe it's people that are here at youth group and they hear you talking a certain way at school. Are they willing to go, hey, watch your mouth. You don't need to be gossiping like that. You don't need to be telling that joke. You don't need to be treating people that way. If you don't have people in your life like that, if you don't have friends in your life, you have lowered the bar on friendship in your life. Proverbs 27:6 says it this way: wounds from a sincere friend are better than kisses from an enemy. Wounds from a friend. When a friend calls you back into bounds and you're embarrassed, you want them to mind their own business and you're like, oh gosh, that's better than being surrounded by people who, when you sneak out of the house, your friends are like, yeah, good job. Oh man, you're so brave, you're so cool. It's way better to feel the pain when somebody calls you back into bounds than surrounding yourself with people who just go along with whatever you want to do. We need to seek friends and be friends. Oh, and like I've been saying, what kind of friend are you? Are you a friend who will say what needs to be said? Are you someone who will be honest with your friends? Consider it. We need to seek friends and be friends that help grow in areas of weakness. Proverbs 27:17 says this: iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Have you ever seen a knife get sharpened? Or an axe? Or something like that? Let me describe it to you. It's violent. There are sparks, there's loud metallic grinding sounds, and there's hard scraping, and it's violent. It takes something hard to sharpen something. And here it's going, look, just as iron sharpens iron, is you need somebody who's willing to be a friend to you. So a friend sharpens a friend. How are your friends making you better? Think about it. And I don't know what category this would apply to. How are your friends making you better? How are they making you a better person? If you're here tonight and you're a Christian, you're a follower of Christ, how are they drawing you closer to Christ? How are they challenging your faith to help you grow in your faith? What does that look like in your life? Because we need friends who will help us grow in our weakness. When we get dull, when we struggle, when we're having a hard time, we need friends to help us in our weakness. Ecclesiastes says this: 2 people are better off than 1. Duh, right? For they can help each other succeed. Do you have somebody in your life that helps you succeed? I know a bunch of you play soccer. Soccer alone, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of running, right? You kind of handle it all by yourself. Do you have a friend who helps you succeed? If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, 2 people lying close together can keep each other warm. But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but 2 can stand back to back and conquer. 3 are even better, for a triple braided rope is not easily broken. How do your friends help you where you're weak? If you don't have people who make you better, who make you stronger, you have lowered the bar when it comes to choosing friends. If you are not a person who makes your friends better, who makes your friends stronger, you are a friend they have lowered the bar to accept. Because we are called to strengthen each other. We're called to hold one another up, especially in the areas that we're weak, that we struggle in. It is not uncommon in junior high to really struggle with your self-image. Thinking you're pretty enough, thinking you're tall enough, thinking you're talented enough, thinking that you're enough. Do you have friends who make you stronger? Do you have friends who pick you up when you're feeling insecure, when you're not feeling like you're enough, when you just want to crawl in a hole and be ignored? Do you have friends that'll pick you up? Do you have friends that'll encourage you? Do you have friends speaking life into you? If not, you've lowered the bar and you're missing out, because this is the kind of friendship that God wants to call us to. And we shouldn't settle for less. And we need a friend, and to be a friend, that has a common pursuit. And I'm not talking so often, and this can be the basis for like basic friendships, relate commonalities of like, hey, this is what got us together initially, but it shouldn't start here. A common pursuit. It's like, oh, we both play soccer. Oh, we're both in choir at school. Oh, we both love school and get great grades and we love to study. Whatever it may be, those are easy common interests, okay? Those can be common pursuits, but those are not going to be the things that hold a relationship together, that hold a friendship together. It's going to have to get deeper. Think about your best friend, okay? Your best friend, you're not best friends with somebody because you share the same hobbies. Okay, right? Am I right? It's something deeper. It's something where you can relate at a level where you can be yourself, where you can be honest, where they will share all these things that we've been talking about. They will sharpen you. They will make you better. They will say what needs to be said. All of these things, these are the things that build a friendship. Now, the common pursuit is going to have to be at the core of that. Because even these other things that we've talked about, these are important elements of a friendship. But at the core, what are you pursuing? What do you ultimately pursue? It can't be soccer. It can't be volleyball. It can't be school. There will come a point when none of those things are part of your life anymore. You realize that, right? So it can't just be that. And this is where we are called into a faith of the people that we accept into our lives, to speak into our lives, to do all these things that we just talked about. If it's not coming from a place of pursuit in God, it's going to be limited. Here's what it says in 2 Corinthians 6:14. Don't team up with those who are unbelievers. How can righteous be a partner with wickedness? And we hear that, we're like, my friends aren't wicked. They're just not Christian. What this is saying is when it comes to your pursuit, what is your pursuit? Is your relationship with God really at the core of who you are? If it is, we must not lower the bar and be like, oh, well, whoever will let me hang out with them. Because you're not going to be able to partner with them. You're not going to be able to have the commonality that's going to go beyond, oh, well, we both play soccer. Well, we're both in the same homeroom. There has to be a core. And if you call yourself a Christian, if you call yourself a believer, God has to be the foundation, the core of a relationship. You can have friendships, you can have acquaintances and things like that, but when it comes to people who are speaking into your life, what is their pursuit? Is it a pursuit of God? Is it a pursuit of God's work in their life? And if they're not believers, how can it be? What harmony can there be between Christ and the devil? How can a believer be a partner with an unbeliever? Who are the people that are speaking into your life? This is the definition of teaming up. When it says, don't team up, don't partner up with people who are unbelievers. Because the pursuit of God is the most important thing. It just is. And if that's important to you, we must not lower the bar and go, oh, well, but they're nice to me. The pursuit has to be there because they will be influencing you. Like I said in the beginning, eventually you will be like the people who are pouring into your life. That's not me cursing you, it's just the way it is. So if you're surrounding yourself with people who are pursuing Christ, who are pursuing God's will for their lives and for yours, that will be your common pursuit. If not, you're just going to kind of go with whatever they're doing. So we have this understanding of friendship, the things that we should expect, we should demand, and then you notice that she's cute or that he's so handsome. And friendship turns to romance. And it is so easy. And you guys, I will tell you, believe it or not, I was once young, unmarried, and on the prowl. It is so easy to have these standards for relationship, to have these standards for what we want in a friendship, and then go, ooh la la. And all it takes is I just need her to be cute. I just, for you ladies, I just need him to be athletic, or whatever it is. And we make attraction the most important thing. And that bar that we should have for friendship, I just need him to be cute. That's it, right? Y'all are with me, right? You get what I'm saying, right? Okay, so we so easily, when we start to have romantic feelings towards someone, when we start to be attracted to them in a romantic kind of way, it's so easy to do what we maybe are tempted to do with friendship in that situation too, where, you know what, I'll date whoever will accept me. I'll go out with anybody who, kind of looks my direction and seems interested in me because I want to be cared for. And we lower the bar and we go, all it takes is, hey, if they show interest, I'm in. And we see all kinds of things where people step into dating relationships that they have no business being in. They're so destructive and they don't even see it because they've got the bar so low that they're like, is he cute? Check. And it doesn't matter that he treats you bad. It doesn't matter that he's disrespectful. And let me tell you that anybody that you date, if they're disrespectful to parents or to other people, eventually they will be disrespectful to you. It'll happen. No, he loves me. Yeah, he loved his mama too. And now he's giving her the finger. Yeah, he loved his friends too, but as soon as they made him angry, it'll happen to you. So it needs to be considered. And many times we get so wrapped up, we miss the opportunity for friendship because we want to go to romance. And I'm going to wrap up with this. Listen to this, guys. Because I understand that junior high is when I had my first girlfriend. Okay? 8th grade, Heather Winberry. Yeah, she does. She does. She's not threatened by the Heather Winberry. But it was one of those things where, we were hanging out, we were friends, and then at some point I noticed she was cute, and I'm like, must date, right? Must go out. So I walked up to her and I'm like, excuse me, Heather. I was just wondering if it's okay if you don't want to, but I was wondering, hold on. What am I supposed to say? Oh, that's right. Would you like to be my girlfriend? And her answer, sure. I'm like, fantastic, thank you. And I walked away, right? We have this idea that we go, all right, as soon as I start to feel attracted to somebody, we should date. Let me tell you guys, and this is where, old guy, dad, whatever it may be. Let me just tell you from experience, I have seen so many incredible friendships wrecked because they went, we should start dating. Now, this does not mean you should never date. It doesn't mean you should never have a boyfriend, you should never have a girlfriend. But what I want to challenge you is how quick are you ready to take a friendship and try and make it romantic, and try to have to live within the boundaries of what a dating relationship, which is what I'm going to be talking to the high schoolers about in just a few minutes. Are you ready to take a friendship that is healthy, that could be growing, that is important to you and hopefully to the other person, and go, you know what? We're going to move it into this category over here. You need to know you're putting it at risk. You need to know that you're potentially going to make things awkward. You need to, it's this. Here. The lie is that dating, the sooner the better. Okay, you guys know this. How many of you have a friend at school? Maybe it's you, we won't point you out. How many of you have a friend at school that has a boyfriend or girlfriend? Okay. So, the mindset in our culture is dating. The sooner, the better. All right? Let me give you a little statistic. Less than 2% of high school dating relationships end up in marriage. Less than 2% end up in marriage. Take that into your stage of life right now. You're like, la, 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 I don't want to hear this, Jeff, because I want to date. Take that to your stage of life right now. Okay, I got married at 20, all right, which is considered young. I mean, that's, that means for you, how many of you are 12? Okay, 13? Okay, so you would have to date somebody right now for the next 7 years. Within the boundaries of dating, within the boundaries that God calls people into in physical relationships, that's what that means. And less than 2% end up in marriage. But the percentage of broken hearts, the percentage of messed up friendships, the percentage of friend groups that get weird and awkward because you've got to start choosing sides of like, oh, he was a jerk, and oh yeah, well, you didn't want her anyway, is huge. And so if you were to ask me, yeah, right now, I am telling you, don't date. You're not in a place right now where there is a relationship that needs to be in that category. Your relationships need to be in developing friendships. You know why? Because you're going to want to marry your best friend. That should be your goal. You're going to want to marry your best friend. You skip the friend part, marriage isn't going to happen and it's not going to work. You want to marry your best friend. What are you doing to develop friendships? Right now. And this matters right now. What are you doing to develop friendships? Where have you set the bar for the relationships that you're in? Not romantic relationships, just the friendships. Where have you set the bar for the people that you are going to allow to speak into your life, that are going to lead you, that are going to be an example to you? If it's way down here, not only are you not going to grow as a person, you're not going to end up meeting the person that you should marry. You're going to end up meeting somebody who may marry you, but you're going to have to lower that bar. And you guys, I want to see you with your bar here. With the relationship, the friendships that you have, the people that you allow to speak into your life, I want you to have the bar here. And never bring it down. If they can't clear the bar, maybe they need to do some growing. I want to see you be the friends that can clear this bar. Doesn't mean you won't fail. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect. I want to see you be the friends that will clear this bar, that will help people grow, that will pick people up when they fail. Because this is what God calls us to. This is how he wants us to live. And here's the question. Are you willing to truly seek God before you enter into any relationship? Friendship, romantic relationship, are you willing to seek God before you allow someone into your life? What will that look like for you? Let's pray. God, this is tricky because we are people who want to be accepted. We are people who want to be loved. And we confess that sometimes it's easier just to go with what'll get us liked, or people that are willing to like us without considering what it means for them to be speaking into our life and who it's making us become. God, I pray that you would develop friendships in the lives of each person here, students and adults, that there would be authentic friendships where the bar is super high and you bring people into our lives who can clear that bar. God, I pray that as fun as the warm fuzzies are when we like somebody, I pray that you would guard hearts from taking friendships and trying to turn them into something else before they're ready. And that there would be wisdom to develop those friendships and to grow closer together emotionally and relationally and spiritually. God, that you would bring wisdom to their hearts and their lives. And God, I pray for people in here right now who need to make a decision to let go of some relationships, some friendships that are toxic, some relationships that are not bringing life and they keep dragging them down. I pray that you would give them the courage and the wisdom to know how to let those go. And that you would replace those toxic relationships with ones that would bring life. That you would bring people who are passionate about you into their lives, and that incredible life would come out of this. God, we want to seek you and we want all that you have for us. So show us what that means in Jesus' name. Amen.